As we've seen previously on this channel, there's a lot of people that go to the extreme to get the look they desire. Which is why today, we're gonna talk about 10 people whom some might say took their tattoos and body modifications too far. And the number one person this time might have topped out anyone else who's ever been on this list, so stay tuned for that. Number 10, Bushells, a man who holds the world's record for having the most body modifications. Out of those 516 modifications, 268 of those are on his... I mean, if it's 268 of them, I think we gotta give him a bit more credit than that. Yeah, that's more like it. Anyways, he has 90% of his body covered in tattoos, and he started this journey later in life at the age of 40 years old. He's got horn implants on his head, 6 subdermal implants in his arms, magnetic implants in his hands, and the tattooing of his eyeballs. But despite all of these extreme procedures, he says the most painful modification of them all was his palm tattoos. Number 9, Tiamat Legion Medusa. Born a man, then transitioning to a woman, and finally into a reptile. Tiamat is dubbed the Dragon Lady and has spent over $70,000 modifying herself. So far she has a tongue split, 8 horns, the reshaping of the nose, eyeballs tattooed green, and the removal of most of her teeth and ears to resemble a serpent dragon, saying serpents don't have ears. On top of all of that, she's working on completing her full tattoo bodysuit. In 1997, Tiamat was diagnosed with HIV. That and a number of unfortunate past traumas gave her a sort of disdain towards humans. Not wanting to be like them, she decided she wasn't gonna pass away as one either, thus beginning her journey to transform herself. In her other life, Richard was a banker in the corporate scene. Then, 15 years later, leaving the industry as the vice president. Now Tiamat says she lives her life the way she wants, marching to the beat of her own drum. Number 8, Diablo Delinfur, a man who spent $17,000 transforming himself to look like the devil. It started with Teflon implants in his forehead acting as horns. Then he got fangs, followed by a split tongue and massive tribal tattoos on his face. He's even went as far as getting his eyeballs tattooed red. Delinfur claims he's not satanic, and the reason he chose to transform himself to look like the devil man was because everything else was taken. He wants to be diverse and unique and says body modifications is his life journey. However, he admits that his appearance has had some repercussions, saying it's a lot harder to meet someone looking like this. But he's gonna continue modifying his body no matter what, and he's gonna continue his quest to find love. Number 7, Tom Leopard, aka the Leopard Man. Now, let's not mistake him for Larry the Leopard, who was on this list in the previous episodes. Tom held the world's Guinness record for being the most tattooed male, but when Lucky Diamond Rich took that crown, he was then acknowledged as the most tattooed senior citizen. He spent $7,000 covering 99% of his body in leopard-like designs. What's really fascinating about his story is that for 20 years he lived remotely in a self-made shelter without electricity or modern technology, and once a week he would kayak to the mainlands to get supplies. But around the age of 73, he admitted he was getting too old for that stuff, so he moved into a normal one-bedroom home. Tom didn't regret his extreme appearance and said he became a sort of local attraction and loved the attention he got from it. Number 6, Sandro, aka Mr. Skullface. This German man has been making headlines in the past year for his extreme body modifications. Sandro is heavily tattooed all over his body and face. He spent over $7,000 to change his appearance by getting his eyeballs tattooed black, getting subdermal implants in his forearms and both of his hands, and horns on his head. His most recent modification was removing his ears, which he now keeps in a jar. He does admit that all of this has affected his love life and career. Though Sandro advises people to think hard before getting into extreme body modifications, he himself has no regrets and doesn't plan on stopping anytime soon. Number 5, Isabel Varley, a legend in the tattoo world who also held the world's record for being the most tattooed female senior citizen. She got her first one at a tattoo convention in 1986 at the age of 40 and worked her way from the top all the way down to her feet, saying she caught the tattoo bug and couldn't stop. Her most talked about tattoos are the ones that are, well, you know. She's got them tattooed on the front of her head, the back of her head, and the side of her face. I guess that's a testament to her great sense of humor. Her advice to anyone getting a tattoo is, if you're gonna have one done, you've gotta think about it carefully, because it's gonna last a very long time, so you've gotta be sure that's what you want. Number 4, Maria Spellick, a heavily tattooed Twitch streamer from Germany. She's been branded, has her tongue split, along with many piercings, and tattooed one of her eyeballs black, saying the procedure didn't scare her cause she was gonna do it no matter what. For the most part, people approach her and tell her they respect the look. However, she has dealt with some really negative people as well. The two worst incidents were when someone stopped right in front of her and asked her if she knew how ugly she was, and also the time she was spat on by two people. Even though she's dealt with negative situations like that, she says she's never gonna stop what she's doing, and she admits that her unique look attracts more viewers to her platform. Number 3. Farah Flawless, a body mod artist who covered the majority of her body in heavy black ink. Struggling from gender dysphoria and not being happy with who she was, Farah was going through a sort of dilemma. She was either going to do what she wanted and be free, or the other option, which was not a positive final outcome. She ended up modifying her body to her liking, saying, "If you could think of a body modification, I've probably done it." Quite noticeably, her heavy face tattoos was a way to hide how she felt about her face. However, as the years went on, she realized her actions were a sort of hasty decision. And now, discovering herself and being more comfortable with who she is, Farah's currently going through laser removal treatment to get rid of the ink on her face. Number 2. Tzen Hobbs, a mother of two who spent over a decade covering 90% of her body in stripes, turning herself into the Tiger Woman. Many people start off getting tattoos not having a goal in mind. However, Tzen has had this vision in her head from a young age. Living in Japan at the age of 9, she realized she could turn her dream into a reality. But it wasn't until she was 18 when she finally started her project. She's had work done by 160 different artists, including 23 at the same time, saying the pain was so intense that she actually fainted a few times. Hobbs loves working as a tattoo artist and sideshow performer because it allows her to show people the beauty that comes within, saying, "Most of us are more than skin deep. I feel more beautiful this way." Number 1. Michel Ferro du Prado, a tattoo artist who's obsessed with transforming his body to become the human Satan. Prado has the majority of his body covered in black work tattoos. Along with his heavy ink, he also has a number of horns on his head, a few subdermal implants, many piercings, a tongue split, fang-like teeth, and the tattooing of his eyeballs. If you've watched this series long enough on my channel, then you would know that this is pretty normal to see. However, he's taken it a step further and added silver tusks to his mouth. But that's not all, cause he's removed his ears and his nose as well. Hold on, it doesn't stop there, cause he recently removed his ring finger is now gone. Prado says he has a very high pain tolerance and that he's willing to go through it all in order to get the body he desires. This story gets a lot deeper, so let me know if you guys want me to make an in-depth video on him the same way I did with the Black Alien project. Now, if you enjoyed watching, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe button for a lot more videos like this. As always, I love you all so much and I'll see you guys in the next one.